Welcome to this video. I'm Nehemiah, a software developer. Today I'll be implementing caching in this project, and today I'll focus on building a caching class which will help me with caching flight searches, and then of course as I progress I'll keep on using it where necessary, and do refactors and things like that. And also towards the end I need to do some bit of refactoring concerning a class which was supposed to be in one of the models. Which is supposed to be actually in a schema and not the model. Rather, it's supposed to be in this directory called these schemas and not here models. So let's get on with this. So where I need to implement this is I think I'll put it in external services, okay? And I'll create a file called catch, okay, .py, and then I need to start by, of course, by setting up, creating the caching class, and maybe later we shall do the Redis thing. Let me make sure my audio is okay on this other end. Just a moment. Close this. I want to make sure I can see the chat whenever I want to, and then drag something else here. All right, so let's start. I'll call it catch. Let's call it catch service or catch backend. I don't know. Let me just call it catch backend. Okay. And then, I can simplify it and leave it as Redis catch. Okay. Of course, later on I'll need to change to several in case I need to switch between different types of backends, different types of catch backends. I can do that. But let me keep it simple. So Redis catch, of course, this is a class. I don't need the parentheses, but then I need an init method. Okay. And then this init method, I think ideally we should be able to pass in the host and the port. Okay. So I have to add some annotation here. The port would be an integer and the host simply a string. Okay. This can do for now. And then I just need to make sure my chat. Sometimes the chat keeps on disappearing. All right. So then here we shall instantiate. Okay. Shall say self.r. Okay. Which of course will be Redis. Okay. And ideally, let us first leave this. Okay. Empty. Up here I'm supposed to import Redis, okay, but it's not there, so I need to import it, okay. But before importing it, I need to install it. So if we go to the browser, we're going to use this Redis Py class, okay, package. So if we go down here, you see they say the Python interface to the Redis key value store. This is what we are going to be using, okay. And of course, like I've told you, I'll set it up from Docker and so on, like and so forth, okay. So yeah, we can do a pip install Redis, but in my case, of course, I'm using UV. So I'll go to the to my terminal here, clear, maybe expand it a little bit, and it's here, and I say UV add Redis, okay. Okay, no PyProject.toml found in your current directory or parent directory. I have to cd into backend like that. Okay, if I do ls, you see that's where we have the PyProject.toml. So I clear that, and I can now say uv add Redis, then give it time. So it has successfully installed it. Okay, now at least I'm sure when I import Redis, I'll be able to use it. Okay, so you see even the red squiggly line has disappeared. Okay, so I can minimize this, okay, and continue creating my Redis class. So I'll say self.r. So r is going to be the Redis instance that we need, okay. And actually, if you go to the DI documentation, you'll find that they call it r. So I just want to keep it simple in the same way. Look at the examples, they use r everywhere. So this is what I'm going to do, okay. Create an instance of Redis and set the values. So I'll get back to my code and say self.r is equals to Redis dot Redis, okay, like this, okay. And then after that, what I need to do is specify, of course, the host, okay. The host will be equals to this host value, okay, and then the port will be equals to this port, okay, the port argument, and then values like db equals to 0, I can leave db to be 0, okay, for now. What else? There's something I used to read about called decode responses. If I can simply search for it here, decode underscore responses, okay. So look at this, it says responses are returned as bytes in Python. To receive decoded strings, set decode responses equals to true. So again, I'll read this. It says the above code connects to localhost on port 66379, sets a value in Redis, and retrieves it. All responses are returned as bytes in Python. To receive decoded strings, set decoded responses to true, which means everything you shall get from Redis is a byte, okay? But to get it decoded as a string, we have to say decode responses equals to true. So this will give us the data in the format that we desire. Then after that, I'm going to create two public instance methods. One will be set, okay, set, I'll say just set, let me just say set for now to keep it simple, okay? And to take in self, it will take, what can it take in? The key, of course, okay, the key, which is a string, let's be a lowercase r, and also it has to take, let me just check my chart, keeps hopping off. And then we have the port, not the port, I mean the value, okay? So the value, what is going to, what the value can be anything. I need to think about the data type for the value, okay? The type of the value, I need to think about it carefully, because ideally, probably it could be a string, also it could be an integer, it could be anything, okay? But for now, let me just leave it without a type as I think about it. Then I'll have the expiration time in seconds. I'll say expiration seconds, okay? And by default, I would want it to expire in 300 seconds. And of course, this one is easy to know the type. It's an integer. So I'll go on to the next line, okay? And for this to be successful, I want to be able to serialize, okay? I want to serialize the data before I save it to Redis. After that, when I'll be removing the data, I'll also deserialize it. So to serialize, I need a module called the JSON module, okay? Which I'm sure many of you already know. This JSON module will help me to serialize and deserialize the data. So to serialize, okay, the number of, I have to say JSON, okay, dot dumps, okay. So the dumps method is what will help us to serialize this value here, okay. So JSON.dumps value, okay. So I can put it in a variable called JSON underscore value, like that, okay. And then I can now call Redis, okay, and say self dot r, okay, dot set x, okay. Set x helps you to set a key and value, including its expiry time, okay. So the first thing we pass is the key, okay. So this is the key I'm passing. After the key, I have to set the expiration time, okay. After that, then I set the JSON value. As simple as that, okay. But now one thing that can happen is that this can go wrong at any time, okay. This can go wrong at any time, so I need to try and catch, okay. In case maybe there's like a Redis connection error and stuff like that. So I'll say try except, and this will be redis dot exceptions. Why is it not giving it to me? Is it because I've not indented. Let me indent this correctly. Redis dot exceptions. Okay. Dot. I was depending on autocomplete. I think is it connection error. Connection error. Let me just check the chat. Okay, it's okay. Then what else do I have here? As E. Okay. And maybe we can just print, okay, a message saying Redis connection error. Okay. And these are things, of course, I can send to a logging system I'll build later. Okay. So even here, I can simply put a message for now. Of course, I will remove these print statements. I want to simply say catched key. Then we pass the key. Okay. Catched key for brackets expiration. That. Okay. So yeah, just to let us know what is going on. Then down here, I need another method, which would be for retrieving the value, okay, from Redis. It will be called, if I'll define a method called get, okay, which simply takes in a key, and this key is a string, and then returns to you the value. So similarly here, I'll do a try and except, but I hope this error here exists. Let me go to documentation and do a quick search. Exception. They seem not to have anything. Okay. I'll check it out in case it breaks or something. All right, I'll look at the exceptions later. So try except, I'll copy this same error. Okay, paste it. Okay, and also what can I do? What can I do here? Yeah, I think I can keep it the same thing. Okay, the same message can be the same. In case there's an error, we simply print a message saying the error is an error, and of course, because there's an error and we are getting something by default, if there's nothing to get and an error has happened, we simply return none. Okay, but then right here, okay, I have to first of all get what can I call it, the key. Okay, I have to get the key. So I'll say self.r, okay, which is redis dot get the key. Okay, so we want to get the value whose key is key, and after that I can put this in a variable. Okay, so what I want to do, I'm keeping on constantly looking at the Redis documentation. I want to put it on this other screen so I see it clearly, because I'm keeping on hovering over a small screen here. Let me put it on another screen so I can see it, because I'm referring to the documentation as I think out loud. Because the last time I worked with Redis and built a Redis service like this was some time back. Okay, so with the key, we can now get the value. Okay, I'll say JSON value equals to that. Okay, so if the JSON value exists, if there's a JSON value, okay, what will I do? I can simply maybe print. Okay, I can say for now, since we are in the development phase, like I said, I'll remove the print statements. I can simply say catch for key, catch for key. Okay, then I print the key. Okay, then I say return, okay, JSON dot loads. Okay, why JSON dot loads? Because we stored a JSON string, so yeah, we need to convert it back, okay, into its original form. Okay, and this will be, we shall be doing a JSON dot load on this value, which is a JSON string. Okay, so JSON dot load does the reverse, deserializes it. Okay, So JSON.dumps is for serializing, then JSON.loads is for deserializing. So you can see the concept is actually very simple. I serialize, I set the key with expiration and a JSON value. After that, when I'm doing the reverse, I get the value using its key. Okay, and if the value exists, I simply print the key, okay, and then what? Return it. Okay. So I can say catch for key, and then maybe comma value value. Okay. Also print a value just to see it. What I want is this JSON value. Okay. So that is if the value exists. In case there's no value in the database, I can simply say catch miss. Okay. Catch miss for key, meaning it did not exist. Okay. Actually, when it is found, it is called a catch hit. Okay. So I can say here, I can say catch hit for key. Okay. Otherwise, on this end, I'll say catch miss for key. Okay. And of course, if it's a catch miss, I should return none. So every time you miss, okay, you miss to get something from the catch, you return none. Okay. Maybe actually I haven't explained what a catch is, but catch is simply a temporary storage, okay, where you store information in memory instead of on disk. So when you store things like on your disk, it is slower. Okay, it is slower to read and write from disk, but reading and writing from memory is faster. And Redis is a tool that works from memory. It stores our values in memory, so it will be what? Very, very efficient and fast enough. Okay. So I hope that makes sense to you. So now that we have done this, okay, I'll go through it one more time. Okay. We have Redis, which is an in-memory store. In-memory means it works in your RAM in the memory and not on disk. Okay. Then we have JSON, a module used for serializing and deserializing. Here we have a class called Redis Catch. This class is responsible, first of all, in the init method, okay, for creating a Redis instance. Okay. This will be like our connection pool. And then after that, okay, we have a method called set, which takes in a key, a value, and an expiration in seconds, okay, and gets this value and serializes it, okay, to JSON. And after that, it sets the value. It sets an expiration using set.ex. Set.ex takes in the key, the expiration, and the JSON value, okay. And then we simply print what has been cached. And if there's an error, we just simply print an error. Okay, this is for the set method. For getting a value, it accepts a key. We we get the key in from Redis. Okay, if the key exists, we simply print that it's a catch hit, meaning it exists, and then we return the value. Okay, when it has been deserialized. But if it's not there, it will be a catch miss. Okay, which means we return none. And in case of any issues like a connection error, we return again none. As simple as that. So what I want to do, I want to go to Docker, okay, to our Docker Compose file and create a Redis service, because right now we don't have Redis set up in compose.yaml. So like you see here in compose.yaml, I have a DB service, okay, and we have the FastAPI app, which depends on the on database DB. Right here, okay, I'll simply go to the bottom, okay. So just to close this, I go to the bottom, and I want to be in the same indentation, okay, and create another service. Okay, so this service, I can call it Redis. Okay, I'm seeing, let me just deal with this. I have a lot of sudden distractions. So I hope you guys are getting it and understanding it. Hope you're getting it. So yeah, just like you see for the database, okay, you need things like an image, the container name, environment, okay? And then even for the first API here, we talk about the database URL, okay? So the same things are needed, okay? Similar thing for like Redis, we shall need an image, okay? And actually, if you go to the Let me take you to the browser. Okay, right here, app. Where is it? I saw something similar. Okay, you see here, they are running it. They show how to run it using Docker. Okay, and the image they're using is Redis latest. So I'm also going to use Redis latest. Okay, so I can simply go to my compose.yaml and I say the image I want. Okay, so the image is Redis full colon latest. Okay, that's the one I want. I don't know if you guys understand this. Okay, the image is Redis latest, and after that you can now specify other things. Wow, sorry, my light has just gone out, but my internet is still on. You may not be able to see me clearly. This is quite unfortunate. Let me try to see if I can set up this correctly. Just a moment. Wow, this is actually terrible. Okay, that's what happens when you live in certain places and you lose power instantly. But let's continue. This won't stop me from learning. Okay. Just a moment. Let me fix up. Let me see if I can fix it up quickly. All right. The light issue is fixed. Sorry about that. Okay. Just checking to see if my live stream is still on. Okay. Linus says, I've never worked with Redis, but I'm getting something. Once I come to watch the stream, I'll understand it better. Yeah, definitely can. And Linus, if you have any question concerning Redis, please ask me. Okay, you can ask me now. Because actually, simply to explain for again, Linus, Redis is a technology, okay, which runs in memory in your RAM, okay, and it helps you to have a temporary store, okay, a store where you can save information or save data and retrieve data. That's what Redis does, okay, and also this same Redis, okay, will give you better performance because it works in memory on your RAM. Why? Reading and writing from disk, okay, your hard disk is much slower. Okay, so we use Redis for faster reads and access. Okay, and actually, many of these operations occur in constant time, big O of 1. Okay, and for our application, I'm going to explain to you in a moment why we're going to use Redis. Okay, but then I can tell you now we're using Redis because we want to save on some money. Okay, every time when I'll put this API in production, okay, I won't be making several requests to the Amadeus API. Okay, let's say someone wants to go from London to New York. Okay, every time someone makes a request, Amadeus counts and knows the number of requests people are making to my endpoint, to my API endpoints. Okay, and they will charge me for that. Okay, but then if someone searches from London to New York, okay, and in the next minute someone else is searching from London to New York, and the next minute again someone is searching from London to New York, I don't want them to keep hitting the Amadeus API, okay, because that's a frequent search. And I don't think that information can change in a space of like a minute or maybe even 5 minutes. So what I'll do, I'll do is for frequent information which is searched for, which is searched by users, I save it in Redis first of all. Okay. After saving it in Redis for some time, okay, let's say for 5 minutes, that is when I can allow users to make requests. Okay, to Amadeus. Of course, the users will not be making the request to Amadeus directly, okay, through my API. So the first thing is check the cache. If the data is in the cache, well and good, we return it to them, okay? Otherwise, we send it, we make a request to Amadeus, okay? So this information will be in the cache for about probably 5 minutes, though, less than 5 minutes, okay? But I want to do more research on this because I want to know how long does it take for flight information to change. If it takes like 10 minutes, I'll catch for 10 minutes. So when a user makes a request, let us say I want a flight offers from New York to London. I first check the Redis cache. If it is there, I return it to them. Okay. If the information in the cache is not there, that's when I make a call to Amadeus. Okay. And remember, reading from the cache will be faster than making a request from the Amadeus API, because their API is of course going to read from, let us say, maybe their cache or probably their database. Okay. And you'll see this, me doing this a lot. Even for some information concerning booking, I'll need what to catch. Okay. Because reading from your cache from Redis is faster than reading from the database, because your database is on disk. Okay. So I hope that makes sense to you. So let's continue. Just checking the chat to see. Yeah, so yeah, I hope I've answered I've made it easier for you, Linus, and everybody else who is uh, following. So yeah, just like you see, the database has a port, has environment variables, even Redis needs. Okay, and of course soon I'll change this so that it's picked from like an env file or something. Okay, so here I'll say maybe I need Redis latest. Okay, then the ports. Okay, so Redis always runs on port 6379. Okay, just like we saw in the documentation here. Okay, they run it on port 6379. So I'll simply run on the same port to keep it basic, and I'll say port 63. Actually, it's supposed to be the next line. Okay, port 639. Okay, this is externally. Okay, outside the container, then inside the container 6379 also. Okay, so externally 6379, we shall use it to connect 6379 externally will be connected to port 6379 internally. Okay, so this is how you understand these things. So this is the image, meaning we want the latest version of Redis, and we're running it on port 6379 externally connected or mounted or bound to 6379 inside the container. Okay, so the first value is for the port outside the container, and the second value is for the port inside the container. After that, what else do I need? Do we need to persist Redis data? Okay, because we can create a volume for it. Okay, to persist the data. I'm trying to actually I think we even need like an environment or something. Okay, I'm trying to look for the documentation of Redis, how to set up Redis like on. Actually, instead of hustling, we can actually check out for examples. Okay, but one thing I can do is, before even we check out for examples, up here I can say our application not only depends on the data on DB, but also depends on Redis. Okay, so I can close this, and then let us go to the browser. So I show you that you don't have to know everything. Okay, you can always search. You can say Redis Docker compose example. Okay. So you see here they say Redis samples, they have Node.js, they have Python Flask. Let's look at this one here for Python Flask. Sometimes you learn from what people are using this. They say image, Redis labs, that, and a port. That's all they have. Okay. And you see their web app, they say it depends on Redis. As simple as that. Okay. So I don't know if I can show you another. So actually our setup is also very simple. So if you look at, for example, they have a voting app here. Let us go to Python samples. Okay. Python samples. I don't know if there's anything with FastAPI here. We can look at, for example, okay, FastAPI is here. Let us go to compose.yaml. Okay. Okay, this is not exactly what I'm looking for. Theirs is just it doesn't have Redis. Okay. If I look at maybe let's look at Node.js. Okay. The compose file should be similar. That's the point I'm trying to look at. You see the image and the port. Okay. The service name, image, port. As simple as that. What else can I show you? Yeah, even here, image, port. Okay. All right, let's continue. I think I've passed on the main point. For volumes, if we lose it, I think, yeah, let's lose it. We shall not persist Redis data for now. Okay. So, yeah, I guess I can try to build the image. Okay. Let's see if she'll have some success. I said docker compose app -- build, hit enter. Okay. So you can see it's pulling Redis. Okay. So as it pulls the Redis, and of course, if I just check here, I've said our FastAPI app also depends on Redis. So the database must be set up and Redis must also be set up successfully. So yeah, so as it's doing that, I want now to show you how I want to do the catching. Okay. So in flights here, okay, let us do for flight offers. This one here. Okay. I am going to have to build a key. Okay. Remember if you come here to set, okay, set takes in a key. Okay. Set takes in a key and a value. So here, if I go to here, I have to build a key. Okay. I have to build a key. Let me put a comment. I have to build a key. We have to prepare the key. Okay. And we have to send the value. Okay. What else? Expiration time we can change, but I'll leave it to this. Okay. To be the 300 seconds to be the default. So the key is going to be made up of the values that come from model dump. Okay. And I can do that. So we have an error here. Says permission denied. Okay. So Redis has been pulled successfully, but we have to add here sudo docker compose. Enter the password. Okay. We'll leave it to finish. So I'm going to start by building the key, and I'm going to show you the values of the key for now. Okay. So I'm going to print for you to understand. Let me first print the request body. Okay. Request body again. The issue that we cannot print the request body unless this. I mean, I cannot show you that unless this finishes building. But let it build. Okay. And the keys. Okay. The key. Okay. The Redis key is going to be built up of, I'll say, request body dot. Okay. So I'm going to pick all the keys. Okay. Because remember, model dump converts our Pydantic model to a dictionary. Okay. Because a dictionary is simply easier to JSON serialize. So to keys. Okay. And I think this would be a list dot, can I say dot join? Okay, let me do this. Okay. I've got another idea. I create an f string. Okay. An f string. and then I'll say the key will be flights full colon, then the request body dot keys. Okay, but I'm going to manipulate these keys. Before I continue, if you're confused and you're not understanding, let me know. Lena says, yes, now I have a high level understanding of Redis. Thank you. That's good to know. Later you can actually even rewatch like you said or read more. If you have a question, this is the time to ask. Let me just go through my. I don't know why the chat window keeps on expanding. I need to maybe change the windows according. Just a moment. So I hope all is going well. So let's continue, okay? But I need to change this, okay? And I'll just get another thought to build this key, okay? To create the key properly, I'll maybe do something like this, okay? I'll create an empty string, okay? This thing keeps hopping off. Okay, I'll create an empty string with an underscore. Then I say dot join. Okay, why I want to join. Okay, is to combine. I don't know how can I explain. Like to combine. I using this documentation. Okay, to combine everything. Okay, using underscores. Because request body dot keys is going to give me a list. Okay, of keys of the dictionary. So when I say underscore, which is a string, this string dot join, it will join each of them, okay, and put underscores in between. And let me just show you that in a moment. So I'll come here and say dot join request body dot keys, okay. Then instead of this, okay, so I'll get rid of all this, okay, get rid of all this and copy this. I want to find a way of doing it in a smart way. Okay. So I'll say for now key will be equals to that. Okay. Then I can now simply, I think I can get rid of this. Okay. To keep it simple. But let me print this key. Okay. Let me print it for you so that so you see what I'm talking about. For now, I will probably comment out this. There was such stuff. Okay. Okay, let me just leave it for now. Let's go to Postman. Wow, my Postman is closed. Let me open Postman. Did it open? Looks like Postman is taking forever. Let's try to be patient, okay? So I can continue writing the code as I wait for Postman to load. I wonder why it's not showing up. Is it because of the resources on my machine? Okay. Yeah, but you get the gist. So I have the key. Okay. So now I can now call the Redis client. Okay. So I can come here and create an instance of Redis. Okay. I say Redis underscore catch will be equals to an instance of Redis catch. Okay. And of course it takes the host and the port. Okay. So in the chat, who can guess what will be the host and the port? Let me take it the compose file. Okay, if you look at the compose file, what will be the value of the host and catch? I mean, and port. Any ideas? anyone, don't fear. There's no wrong answer. We're all learning. All right, I see most of you are afraid. Okay, it's actually easy. Okay, it's the same value. The host will be Redis. Okay, and the image, I mean the port will be 639. Okay, so simply I can come here and say host. Okay, is equals to OS. Now I need to import OS. Say import OS, and then I can come here and say OS, because there are better ways of handling environment variables. I think I'll have to do a dedicated video to that, where I'll be refactoring the whole project and handling environment variables better. We always would get env. The env we want is, I think let me call it Redis hosts. Okay, so Redis hosts. Okay, and then what else? I can say port. Okay, will be equals to os dot get environment. Okay, I'll call it Redis underscore Redis port. Okay, and of course because this is Python, we can have default values. Okay, learners had given a suggestion localhost and 639. Okay, you were very close with localhost. Okay, but in this case, of course, ours is called Redis. That's the name. So in case it's a default value, you can simply say default is Redis. This has to be a string. Okay, you can put it there, or you can come here and say default is 6379, like that. But that would mean, okay, if I show, that would mean even here in our FastAPI app, we have to put those values, okay, here, so that they are accessible. So what I can do is this. I can come here, copy this, okay, come here and say Redis host equals to Redis, okay, meaning we are referring to this service. Then I come and say Redis port copy, come here, also paste equals to 63779. Is it 6379? Yes, like that. So yeah, I think I can close this one. Then here we simply pass the host and the port. Okay, so yeah, I'm only creating it here so that I don't know if you guys have heard about what they call singleton pattern. Okay, I want only my entire application to have one instance of this Redis catch. I cannot have more than one. Okay, and there are ways to prevent this, which maybe I'll discuss later. Okay, so yeah, we have that. So I can now come to this class. Okay, and now import it and say from backend dot external services dot catch import Redis catch. Okay, then down here. Okay, I don't know why Postman is not opening. This is crazy. I want to show you. Let me try to open Postman, their client from the. I don't know whether it has crashed. I think my Postman has crashed or something. And yet I wanted to use it to make life easier for myself, because I had stored information there and now it's not loading. So what is this? I think I've already signed in. Where are my collection? Where can I find my collections? Let's wait for it to load. So I want to make a request so that I show you what the value of keys, what this key is, and what this value of request body is. Okay, so that you see the actual data. Okay, let me expand this so that you can see it better. I open Airbound Ventures. I go to get flight, such as flight too. Oh, this is what I like about using things like Postman. Okay, your data is saved, but I don't know why the desktop client is not working. But you see, this has been saved. So let's make it send a request. Says could not send a request. Why? Probably it's not connected. It cannot. What's this error? Because now it is struggling to connect to what? To my local host. Let us try to use Postman in VS Code. Okay. So what I'll do, I'll go to VS Code. Okay. And look for Postman. There's Postman here. So they want me to sign in. Let me sign in. I'll open. I pick mine. Be patient with it as it loads. Then I can open Visual Studio Code. It hasn't redirected me, so I'll come open it manually. I think this is okay. So let's give it some time. I don't want to import. It says unable to reload items. I was actually counting on it loading everything. Anyway, let me do it. Let me see environments. It hasn't loaded, so I'll copy this URL. Okay. Actually, I'll first go to environments and copy the base. Oh, it has no value. So maybe that's why it was not working. So let me get the actual value. The actual value, something supposed to be simple, can take you hours. Okay, so I'll copy this, then come in the base URL and change it to that. Okay, so if I go to base URL, remove that /, save, come here and hit send. Still it cannot reach. So what I'll do, I'll go to Postman, send new HTTP request instead of gambling. Okay, enter that URL, come back here, copy all this whole long one. If the the other one worked, actually I wouldn't be serving the desktop client, so I want to copy these values. Okay, original location code. So I'll come here. I need to minimize this. Oh, we have the values here. Okay, so let us send the request. Okay, maybe I need to zoom out a little bit so that you see what is happening. So you see it is sending a request. So at least we have some success. But after this video, I'm going to go ahead to fix the desktop client because it's much better. Because I think you see this one is kind of ugly, and I'm sure it is hard for you to see. Let me expand it. So you say have some response. Okay, a flight offer. But my goal was to show you what is in the terminal. Okay, so if you look at the terminal here, okay, are you seeing the keys? These are the keys I was referring to you. Okay, if you come here to the code, okay, and you see request body. Okay, this is the request body. Are you seeing original location code, destination location code, departure date, the number of adults, the maximum number of results you want, and the currency code. This is the request body which has been converted to dictionary. So now on this other line, when I say print key, I am printing each of the keys: original location code underscore, destination code underscore, departure date underscore. So in other words, I'm picking all the keys from the dictionary and separating them by an underscore. Okay, that is what I've done. So to maybe to even modify it better, I'm going to do this. Okay, I'll say key will now be equals to an f string. Okay, I'll say flights full colon, then key. Okay, this value here. As simple as that. So this is what the key is, okay? To keep it simple, maybe even I can copy, if I copy this and put it inside here, okay, should be able to work. So I can, if I print the key again, I sec, so that you see everything and you understand step by step, because I discovered when Linus spoke, he let me know that many of you are just learning about this kind of stuff for the first time, okay? So I'll scroll to the bottom, go back here, send the request, okay? Let us wait for some output here. If you come back, it should say sending. Okay, the results have come in. Let's go back to the terminal. Are you seeing the key? This is now the key, flights, original code, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so this is the key. It's made out of all the keys of this dictionary got from model dump in the request body. Because sometimes someone might send without a particular place. Okay, but I'm thinking of even making it better, but for now let it be like that. Okay, let it be like that. So I'll remove this print statement because the goal was just to show you the values. Okay, so this is the key that we have created, basic Python ideally. Okay, flights, then have all those keys in the request body separated by an underscore. In fact, I can even remove this space and do that. Okay, so now I can now say Redis catch. Okay, dot set. What do I set? I'll set the key and I'll send the request body. This the of course this is not correct for now. Okay, what I'm supposed to actually to set is the response, if you remember. So I have to come down here and do this. Okay, redis search dot set response. Okay, that's the response I'm going to set. Okay, and then what else do I need here? Okay, this key I need to check. We need to check because our catch, we have this thing called get. Okay, we need to maybe verify that the data exists. Okay, so I can say flight underscore data, okay, will be equals to redis catch dot get. Okay, we get by the key. Okay, so if Redis gives us information by this key, what do we do? So we first check here. If there's flight data, we simply return the flight data like that. Let me create some space to make a difference. Okay, so we create a key, we check the Redis catch. Okay, if there's flight data in the Redis catch, we return it. Otherwise, we return it. We see if Redis has a data, we return that data. Otherwise, we make a request to Amadeus, set this new information from Amadeus into Redis, and then return a response. Yeah, I don't know if I've been able to confuse you or to make you understand. Please let me know. I want to go over this one more time. I'll explain. We first get information from our request body. Okay, remember our request body is of type flight search request get. Okay, if you go to flight search request get, it is a Pydantic base model. Okay, so we need to convert this Pydantic base model into a dictionary using model dump. Okay, then since the request body is now a dictionary because of model dump, we get all the keys, okay, and separate them by an underscore using underscore this string underscore dot join, and then we prepend it with flights full colon and all the keys. This will be a unique key to save in Redis. Okay, so using this key, we check if the Redis catch has a value with this key. In case it has, we simply return it. Otherwise, it could mean that either the data expired in Redis. Remember, our Redis has an expiry date. Time I mean in seconds. Okay, 300 seconds. If it has expired, or if it wasn't there in the first place. Then we make a request to the Amadeus flight search service, and then set that value in the key, so that if someone makes the same request maybe in within 300 seconds, we are able to pick it from the cache. Okay, and again, the expiry time can always change. Okay, like for example, in our Redis cache, you can change it and say maybe we are looking at maybe 1000 seconds or something like that. Okay, so I hope this makes sense. This is how Redis works. Okay, and how you can use Redis to improve the performance of your application. And like I told you earlier, this line of code, the line 54, okay, where I'm making requests to Amadeus. Amadeus is going to charge me some money, okay, for making these requests, okay. But if someone is making these requests, if the requests being made are so common, okay, it means the information I'll get from Amadeus will be the same, okay. And to avoid Amadeus from costing me information charging me money in production, I simply save that information, okay, which is frequently accessed in Redis, and return it back to the client. That is the first cost benefit. The other benefit is speed. Okay, Redis is an in-memory tool. Okay, it works in your RAM. Okay, and working with RAM is faster. Reading from RAM is faster than reading from disk. Okay, this operation here will always go to fetch information from disk, but this one won't. Okay, so we're going to have cases whereby we use our Redis cache, which we have built. So if you look at our Redis cache here, we have a number of print statements. Okay, for example, here it says print catch hit, okay, or print catch miss. So when we successfully get something from Redis, we should see the statement catch hit, okay, for key and value. In case we miss, in case it's not there or it has expired, we should get catch miss, okay. And then for setting, if we set a value, we should get what? Cached key. So let us test it out right now. So I'll go back to Postman and send the request. I need to, okay, looks like it has been successful. So let us go to our terminal, okay? Look at the terminal. Should have done this long time ago. Okay, so are you seeing this? It says catch miss for key, flights, origin location code underscore, destination location code underscore, departure date underscore, adults underscore, max underscore, currency code. It missed. Where is catch miss? Catch miss is here. Okay, where is it? Redis catch that I'm looking for. Catch miss is here. Okay, it tried to check Redis but did not find it, so it was a miss. That's why we're seeing this print statement. Now you understand why I put this print statement here. Then after that we got, let me show you. Let me go to the terminal. We got cached key. This is the key which was cached for 300 seconds. And by the way, what are 300 seconds? Who can guess? So cached key is here, okay, in the function of setting. So the key has been cached for 300 seconds. What are 300 seconds in minutes? Who can guess? Quick math, metal work. It's about 5. Okay, it's about 5 minutes. So let me do this, okay? Yes, Linus, correct. That's 5 minutes. So I'm going to close, okay, leave it open and now make a request, okay? I don't think 5 minutes are done. I'm not for now. We should now get a catch hit, okay? So I come back here and I say send, okay? I come and expand, okay? And I show you. Are you seeing? We get that. Are you seeing this catch hit for key? Yes, Daniel. That's correct. It's 5 minutes. Okay. So you see, we get catch hit for key. Okay. And we get all the data. Okay. For this key. This is the key up to here. And this is the value we get. Okay. So all this has been got from Redis catch instead of making a request to Amadeus. So this is how you can optimize your application. Okay. And let me reduce this. Okay. So yeah, now you get the point. So just maybe to show you, because you may think maybe I'm playing. Okay. I want to show you the Amadeus cost. Let me go to Amadeus pricing. Okay. I want to show you actually the cost so that you see what I mean by that. Okay. And how Redis can help you to actually save money. You're saving money, and yet you actually what? Improving performance of your application. Because know that, imagine someone is moving from maybe from Nigeria, okay, from, let us say, from Lagos to Nairobi, okay, Lagos to Nairobi, and the information they're going to return to them is exactly the same, okay, and we know that maybe within a window of 5 minutes it will not change. So we are safe to store it in our Redis cache. And if people are constantly asking for price for Nairobi to, from Lagos to Nairobi for the same exact date, same number of results, same number of everything, we simply catch it. Okay, we catch it, and then when they need it, we return it from Redis. Okay, and reading from Redis will be faster, way faster. This is taking time. Okay, reading from Redis will be way faster, and also it will save us money because our Amadeus service is going to cost us money, so we shall be saving information. So you've seen me do this. Okay, so I don't know whether anybody has a question concerning that. So let me minimize this. Probably need to sign in. The thing is being slow. So as it brings up this, okay, I want to explain to you everything we have done so far. Okay. And I'll start from the catch. Okay. Just because sometimes I repeat when I'm repeating these things, by the way, I don't only help you, but I also help myself. Okay. I created a class called Redis Catch, which creates an instance. Okay. This is like a connection pool. This is the only way we shall connect to Redis. Okay. Using this class. Okay. So it says Redis to create an instance of Redis code, and the value will be in a variable called R, which takes in the port, the host, the port, and DB equals to 0. Meaning don't create like any kind of like database for this. And it says decoded response is equals to true. Why decoded responses? Because Redis can return to us bytes, but we don't want bytes. We want it to return to us actually string data. Then here I have a method called set, which takes in a key, the value, and expiration seconds. Okay, and by now it is 5 minutes or 300 seconds for now. Okay, so what I do is to wrap it into a try catch because the connection to Redis can fail. Okay, and I simply print a message saying Redis connection error. But ideally, what I'm supposed to do is to set up logging. Okay, and later I'm going to show you how to set up standard logging. Okay, so when we get this value, we simply, and in our case, the value will be flight data. We convert it to a JSON string. Okay, then we say Redis self with R Redis.set ex. Ex is simply expiration. Okay, we set the key, the expiration, and the value. And like we see, the expiration has a default value of 300 seconds, but we can always change. Then if it is successful, we simply print cached key. If it fails, if Redis fails to connect, we shall get this error. Okay. Daniel says, if we are using keys, how are we able to tell that it is not a different request with the same keys? I missed some part of the stream. I'm going to explain to you that, Daniel. So for get, we simply pass in a key, and we first of all get the key from Redis, and we know it will be JSON. Why is it JSON? Because we serialize it here when we are setting JSON.dumps. After that, we check if the JSON value exists, okay, which means we have a catch hit. It exists. Then we simply deserialize it by saying JSON.loads, okay, and return it, okay. That's why I have it return here. Otherwise, it's a catch miss and return none, okay. Then at the bottom here, I'm simply picking the host and the port, okay, the host and port from the environment, okay, and creating an instance of our class, our Redis catch. Where is the Redis coming from? It is coming from Docker, okay. I have a very basic Docker setup here, okay. A service, like I told you, we have a number of services, okay. We have our Redis service here, which I've added today. Like I told you, we shall be going back and forth, okay. This is the service, okay, which gives us the latest Redis version, okay, or the Redis image. and it's running on these ports. Okay. And then here in the FastAPI app, I simply say that this FastAPI app does not only depend on the database, but also on Redis, this Redis service down here. So it depends on DB and Redis. And then I added two environment variables, Redis host and Redis port. Okay, and it was done. Then I came here to the flights and began creating a key. So now I'm going to answer Daniel's question. Okay, Daniel says, if we are using keys, how are we able to tell that it is not a different request with the same keys? So Daniel, the goal here is not to differentiate requests. Again, I'm going to answer, but if I've not understood your question and my answer is not satisfactory, please send a follow-up question. So the goal is not to differentiate requests. Okay, clients are going to make several requests to this endpoint. Okay, when they are searching for flights. Okay, first our goal is to find out what they're actually searching for. You get, let us say like now Daniel. Okay, let me put here a comment. Okay, Daniel, you search for your request involves, let us say, your origin. Okay, involves the destination. Okay, and then it also involves let us, what can I say, it involves maybe the number of adults. Okay, and the date. Okay, the date, like that. Okay, then also me. Okay, let me put your names. Okay, so Daniel has done this. Okay, then maybe Linus. Okay, that's the same thing. Okay, searches for an origin. Okay, destination. I want to understand this because actually I'm thinking he has asked for what, a correct, because this is, if I, how are we able to tell it's not a different request with the same keys? Okay, I think Linus could actually be, I mean, then his question actually makes sense and has opened up my mind. Okay, because if we are simply saying origin, destination, adults, date. Okay, and then think about it, guys. Daniel's question actually has light. He searches for London. Okay, NYC, the date, adults maybe 1. Okay, the date is 25th. There could be actually a mistake I've made, and I'm about to agree with him. Okay, and also Linus searches for this. I search for this. I search for this. Then I search for the same date. Okay, so Daniel and Linus are searching for the same date. Okay, the flights request body.keys, okay, will always have origin, destination, adults, date. Origin, destination, adults, date. So it won't, it will always, these two requests will have the same keys. So we won't be able to tell the difference. I don't know if you guys understand that. Do you understand that? We shall not be able to tell the difference because this key, okay, will always have origin, destination, adults. Origin, destination, adults. This is why I like sometimes learning in public. Someone asks you a question, and then your mind wakes up. Okay. And actually, I was going to relax and be like, yeah, I'm done. Not knowing actually this is false. What to actually make the difference, Daniel? What has to happen? Okay, is to use these values. Okay, use that London, use NYC, use adults, and use this. I don't know what do you say about that. We have to actually use the values. Will that make it different? Daniel, what do you think? We have to get actually the values to generate a key. And what I can actually do is this. Okay, I can build Okay, I can build, think about this, Daniel and everybody. I can build the keys like this. Okay, actually I've got another idea. Say origin, okay, the keys origin and its value. Okay, then I put an and let me do this. Next line and a space. Okay, the key in this case. Okay, the key for this case, let's say the key will be like so. Okay, it will be these same values. Okay, but now like this with an underscore underscore underscore. I think that here will be the best bet. Yeah. Liner says yes. This value will be unique. Then it says yes, combining them will be the best bet. Yeah. Daniel, I appreciate by your question. Your question, I was not going to see it. Okay, I was not going to see that, by the way. Good question. So let's continue. So the same thing, if Liner searched for the same information, his key will be something built the same using the same information. Okay. So I remove the comma and everything to be an underscore. Remove that. Okay. An underscore. Come here. Underscore space. Okay. So this is how it would look like. Okay. And which means if Daniel and Linus did the same search, okay, in the same 5-minute window, okay, and it has been it's in the Redis cache, okay, that would mean they would get the same information. Do you agree or disagree? But if let us maybe Linus, his date was different, was 26th, okay, then it would change. Okay, that's a different key. So a request would go to the Amadeus service, and of course we shall have what the catch being now set with a value. Okay, and then the next time maybe him or another person makes a request for the same data, that is when it would be got from the catch. Yeah, so now we need to build a key. Okay, and now I'm thinking about something, because the logic of building a key is going to be, can I say, some code. Okay, so I think I'm going to create a function called build key just above here, but I'm going to write it in another directory. I'm going to put it inside here, utilities, but I don't know what to call the module. As I think about it, let me first build that logic here. Okay, so yeah, Daniel, I'm happy you agree with me, and again, yeah, I appreciate that you asking me that question. So let's now go ahead. I'll simply create a function, which I'm going to of course put in another module. I'll say define build search build flight search key. Sometimes even getting a proper name can be tricky. If you have if you have a better name, please say flight data. Okay, just keep it like that. Okay, then I don't know, like I should just leave it as the type I think should be this. I'm trying to think of what the type should be. Okay, let me do this for now. Okay, then here, okay, I can simply remove this and say key is equals to build flight search key. Okay, then I pass the flight data. Okay, but ideally it should be this request. Okay, but we can even use, you can actually use this request body still. Okay, can do the request body, but I'm thinking of keeping the typing strong. Okay. Then of course I can just simply copy, remove these comments, and maybe paste them just here for reference. Okay. So yeah, key will be got from build flight search key, which can get data from either this request or from this request body dictionary. Okay, any of them I think can work. Then actually let me use the request body. Let me say request body, and I put this as a dict. Okay, like that. Then I think this would be okay. I don't know what you guys think about this design. I'm actually thinking about creating another video where we apply design patterns, and I talked to you about them more broadly. It will be I think something good even for me to do, because the design patterns I've never actually worked with in the real world. So it would be nice for me to actually use them in this project. Okay. So yeah, we have model dump, we have we have build flight search key, then yeah, but at least we know all this works. What we need to do is to fix this. So let's go to the function, okay, and build the key. So we need, remember, we need an origin, and we need all the keys, okay, and then we also need the, what can I call it, the values. Let me just deal with an emergency here. Give me a moment. Yeah, so far so good. I love the fact that we are flexible and we are able to learn together. Okay. So yeah, I'm just going to create maybe a list. Okay. Me just call it data for now. Okay. Let me put here below this comment so that you know what we are doing. Data will be equals to, I'll create a list. Okay. So what I want to do, the chat again keeps popping. Then I says, I think you create a separate stream so that we clearly understand design patterns. Yes, I'll do that. I'll do that. Because even there's a design pattern I implemented, but I don't think you guys understood it. Yeah, just, and so to be fair, I'll make sure I do that. So dictionaries always have a method, okay, called, is it dict items? Okay. So if you look at this comment, says a set like object providing a view on these items. Okay, so we're going to get so every item, okay, has an item in a dictionary refers to a key and value. Okay, so I can say for key, comma, value, okay, in flight data dot dict item. So I'm getting the key and the value. Okay, key and value. And what I'm going to do is this. Okay, I'll put an f string. Okay, and then put these quotes, and I see the key. Okay, full colon. Okay, so this, like, for example, if you look at Daniel and Linus's data, okay, origin is the key followed by a full colon. So the key followed by a full colon. Okay, so I'm going to say key full colon. Okay, then an underscore. Okay, then actually key full colon, the value. Okay, then yeah, I think this is it. The underscores I have to join it. So ideally this will give us the key full colon value, key full colon value. Okay, then the underscores can come in later. Okay, so I can come and say here is maybe, can I say maybe, can maybe recreate data what to a string. Say data equals to underscore dot join dot, I can type a dot join. Okay, I pass in data. Okay, can I just call it here, call it, let me say flight data dict, just like that, to give it better naming. This will be flight data, just like that. Okay, sometimes I struggle with this naming. If you have a better name, please let me know. After a long day of work, I guess I'm struggling with naming. So I'll simply return flight data str. Okay, the string. No, this is not a dict. What's wrong with me? This is a list. Okay, flight data list. Okay, so from flight data dot items, I pick the key and value. Okay, put the key, join the key to the value with an under with a full colon, with a colon. Okay, as a string. So this would be a list of strings in this format. Then later I join each of them with an underscore to give us this kind of stuff. Wow. So let me close this. I mean, remove the comments. Okay, can make it shorter. So let us test it. Okay, we need to test. So maybe I can print the key. I say key, then I print the key. Go to the bottom, come here, hit send. Is it running? Okay, looks like it's okay. Are you seeing key? Okay, are you seeing the key? Look at the key now. Are you seeing that? This is the entire key up to here actually. And you see in there it said the catch miss. It was a catch miss for this key. It was not found. Okay, then after that it catched it because it was not found. Just now send another request to see what happens. Send a request. Okay, if I go up, okay, I see we get a key. Okay, our key is printed again, and we get a catch hit. So it is now getting from our catch. Okay, which is good. So if I send again, yeah, same thing. You'll see catch hit. Okay, so as long as it's within that 5-minute window, you're okay. All right, so I'll save this and then remove these print statements. Okay, there's no need for them. So as we continue building, you'll see me now using the catch service. Okay, I remove this print statement. This I can remove this, leave this for now, but I'll have to remove it to replace it with actually logging, actual logging. Okay, we need to implement advanced logging, so I can leave those for now. Yeah, the more we do this, the more I discover there are so many things we need to implement. Like even this needs to change. So yeah, here's our Redis. This is how you can build a basic Redis service, and maybe we can even actually expand it in future because it can be more advanced than this, according to some ideas I'm having right now. Yeah. So yeah, you see, our tool now, our application now is now growing. Okay, we have now another layer, catch layer, that we need to talk to before actually talking to the search service. And who knows, maybe we can actually re-implement this differently. Okay, this can be implemented differently, and we shall see how to do that, probably with design patterns and stuff like that. So let me make a commit and show you the final thing. Hey, wait, this has to be somewhere. This has to be removed from here. Okay, it cannot stay here. I'm going to come here in utils. I don't know what to call it, but I'll maybe just call it maybe Redis. I don't know. Just call it maybe, I don't know, helpers. .py. I'll have to figure out a better name. If you have a better name, please let me know. So I'll save. Okay. Then I come here at the top and import it. Save from backend .utils .helpers import build flight search key. Yeah, so I think that's it. Then I can now come. I can just maybe cancel this. Okay. And clear. Just do git status just to be sure of what I'm committing. Okay, that's okay. I can do a git add, a git commit -m, and I say implement Redis catch. Okay, -m setup Redis dash setup Redis service in Docker compose .yaml -m, what else? A dash catch flight data, flight search data from, wow, let me just keep it basic like that. I'm overthinking even it. It's funny how I'm overthinking a commit message. So rough format failed. You remember this? We set up rough and all this, I think, in the either second or third stream. So you see it is helping. Okay. So I have to re-add because it has fixed it and recommit. Now you're going to see them passing. There we are, they have all passed. So you can push. Actually, if I take you back to the code, okay? So I take you back to which one? Did it convert the external services? I think catch. Go to catch. It's hard to tell. Is it the catch? Where am I? Catch, open catch. Okay. I'm looking for where it has made changes, but I can't tell. Okay. But that's okay. So I'll save this. You know, it's not saving. Yeah. So I think that is it. Wait, I think one more thing. One time, Linus, you discovered an issue with if I go to models, okay, auth.py, this is not supposed to be there, okay, because this is not interacting with the databases. It is not supposed to be in models, okay. It is supposed to be in schemas because it's going to be used for validation, okay, only. So I'm to remove this, okay, from here, okay. I can just leave this for now because maybe we could actually use it later. Remove it and go to schemas. Okay, so I don't know if Linus you remember that, but actually even someone commented on that video under your comment. Someone replied to it there, and I remembered. So in schemas, you can also have auth. Actually, I can put auth, or even just move it. Okay. Okay, let me just recreate it. Okay, auth.py. Okay, from Pindatic import base model like that. Then I can paste that code. Okay. Now we need to find out classes, areas where we're using that auth class. Okay. That token. I mean the token class. That should be in external. Is it external services? No, it cannot be there. It should be in CRUD users. Okay. Where were we creating? The project has not become huge enough, but I'm already getting lost. Security. Okay, should be here. Where we're creating tokens and whatever. Okay. So if you go to the top, do you have anything like token here? Or is it in the routers? Okay, where we are returning a token, should be in the routers. Actually, the easiest way for me to do this would have been to do a search. Okay, so you see this token has been grayed out. So this has to be from backend dot schemas. I hope Linus, now this makes sense to you. Dot schemas dot auth import token. So this is a change I wanted to do today. Someone made a comment. If I can quickly show you from the channel. Okay, so yeah, if you're enjoying this series, yeah, you can share it with everybody and you subscribe so that, yeah, we learn along. And I go to this I think, was it this video? No, it's not this video. Should be, is it this one? Is it, should be this one here on authentication. Yeah, so this is the comment I'm talking about. Someone commented today, okay, saying I have the same confusion with him, that you put the token class in model. I think you should put it in schemas, because in my opinion, model only used for DB. Maybe I was wrong. So yeah, this reminded me of that. So it's supposed to be only in the schemas, not models. Why? Models is for pandatic models, which are going to help us with database operations. Then schemas simply input and out HTTP request import validation and the response validation. As simple as that. And yeah, it's funny. I think people like system design. This video in this series has actually the most views, the first one. But I've noticed it is hard for people to be consistent with everything. The first videos on when something breaks up for the first time, everybody is like excited. Yeah, let's learn about this. But then few people are able to carry on to be consistent. Because if you compare the views on this and to the others that follow, you'll find that they are actually different. Okay, so yeah, if you've stuck around, just know you're a consistent person. Yeah, so I think I've changed this. Let me just do a search, okay, in this project for token inside this folder. If I say search for token, let me close this. I want to search the actual folder. Find in folder, I say token. Let us see. Backend. Wow, they're showing me everything, even in the environment variable. Files to exclude, let me exclude .venv. Okay, so that one. So flight, we have this. That's the first time we have token. I want to make it strict like that. So here, 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 yeah. So these are the places where it appears. Okay, so sometimes you can use the search feature to make it easier. So I can make a commit for this too quickly. Come here just to be sure I've committed. Git add, git commit -m, and say refactor move token model to schemas. Move token, let me just get token class to schemas. Says failed. What you simply need to do is to add it again and commit, because when Raf says it has failed, it means it found invalid structure and it reformatted it. So you need to stage again, and then yeah. So Lena says, yes, it confused me. There was a time you moved pandatic models to schemas. Yeah, sorry for the confusion. Yeah, and I guess we are learning. I'm also learning live together with you. And of course, in case you see things, yeah, please let me know. So I appreciate you, Linus, and I appreciate you, Daniel, for your input, especially Daniel. I wouldn't have seen that key issue, by the way. It is a subtle issue that if you're not keen and you're tired, you won't be able to identify it. So I really appreciate. So let me put in this code. I want to show you something. Okay, the Amadeus pricing, then we call it a day. Then it says it makes sense. It now makes sense. I did research and found pandantic models should be in schemas as you had discussed. Yes, that's correct. So yeah, if you're learning this and you think it's nice, yeah, share this share it with your network, okay? So that other people also learn. Let me resume this. So you see, they have what? Like for flight offers search, okay? The free quota has 2,000 requests you can make, okay? Then if I go to production environment, you see how much they charge, okay? For get, they charge this amount of what? Is this pounds? Okay. So if I convert 0.25 pounds to US dollar, about 0.34 US dollars. Okay. So it looks like it's little money. Okay. But it can quickly aggregate. Okay. So for this, for offers, price, orders, all these endpoints. So when I go to production, I'll be charged all this amount of money. Okay. So let us calculate. Okay. Imagine you had maybe, let's say, per day. Okay. Being a startup, um, including bots and whatever. Okay. 100 requests. Okay. So that is $34. Okay. So $34 multiplied by what? Let us say your site is up 6 days a week. Okay. Okay. 7 days a week to be fair. Okay. Times 4 a month, 4 weeks. That is 952 US dollars. Only for flight offers search get. Do you see how it can easily get expensive? That is why I put catching. So that if people search for frequently used data, the catch maybe can help me reduce expenses. Yeah, so yeah, that's it for now. Let's meet in another stream. That will be probably on Wednesday or on Wednesday. So thank you all for learning with me. I hope you've had a good experience again, just like I have. And of course, if you're enjoying this, yeah, subscribe and share it with everybody else in your communities and your network. Bye for now and talk soon.